What is up?
Hey, Marvel fan club. This is your favorite podcast, Marvel Tarvel Time.
Marvel Tarvel.
Where we get right into the juicy bits of the MCU that you guys love talking about.
Also, I just realized I'm going to close this door.
Yeah, let's close this door.
Because there's some sound happenings.
There is some sound happening out there.
Sansa, lay down, baby. If you're going to be in here, you can't jingle, jingle.
Do we need to do a reset?
No. Why?
Okay, I don't know.
I can edit it out if I need be.
Damn. Okay.
Well, you know what? You already know what this episode's about, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about recent movies we've seen.
Yeah, we're gonna subvert your expectations. We're gonna not talk about Marvel.
Subvert your fucking expectations. Okay, we're taking a break already. Cue jazz. I'm sorry. I tried to let you stay in here, but you're too loud. I know. I love you, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Sad. Can we reset?
Yeah. Let's reset. No!
I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, you Marvel maniacs. Welcome back to another Marvel Monday that releases on Tuesdays. And you bet your bottom dollar today we're going to be talking about all that hot Marvel goss.
Yes.
Like, question number 1. Is it okay to with yourself? Find out later today.
We're gonna answer all your burning questions, and we even have some theories of our own on this new and never before done Marvel Monday episode.
Thanos coming back, but with an even bigger butt this time.
What? Purple Man Mondays, guys.
Purple Man. Five Nights at Freddy's cast. Happening live. We've got the latest fan theories.
Yes.
The purple guy, did he, what happened with Bonnie? And Foxy? Foxy.
Oh, I didn't know their names. That's
FNAF 3. FNAF Help Wanted. FNAF 4. Are there any more?
There's like
FNAF,
6.
The pizza one. The one that's free on Steam. FNAF, the virtual reality one.
Hey, yeah, they've got like 7 of them then.
Fucking shit.
We're going to go over all of them today, guys.
Did you see that the FNAF guy retired because people finally just now thought about the fact that he made Christian games before, so therefore he probably hates gay people, and now we're all shocked that he hates gay people. I want to know how many times he had to look at like Rule 34 content of like his animatronic like couplings, you know, like to...
Well, sorry to cut you off.
I don't want to be graphic. I don't really want to go there.
I'm curious though, because does he really hate gay people, or is he just a Christian and people just canceled him because he hated gay people? Because I read
he's come out. He's donated to the Trump campaign and like I think some anti-LGBTQ organizations. So like
gotcha.
People essentially tracked where his money was going. Like,
yeah,
and that's why they're canceling not only him but like buying Five Nights at Freddy's games because they don't want to support that shit. Because I mean that is what you're doing essentially. Yeah. I mean, there's this great app called like something like My Brand, and you can track what like different restaurants and organizations like donate to. Like that's a big way that people keep track of like all the anti-gay like organizations that Chick-fil-A donates to. And you know, like it's a good way to be conscious, but it's also a good way to remind yourself that you can't do anything in this world without moral repercussions. Right. You know, you can't go anywhere or do anything. Like
what speaking of that, there was a what was it? Was it a cartoon or was it a joke that I heard talking about how like when people like get to hell, they're like, why is this person in hell? It's like, well, he ate at restaurants that like donated to like these foundations and like this like normal things that people do every day that they don't realize that they're giving money to like pretty evil people. And it was just like a funny joke that reminded me of it because it's like when you go to hell for eating Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Well, so, have you seen like The Good Place or anything?
Yeah. So
that's a big plot point of it. Is like the reason people aren't getting into heaven anymore is like.
That's what it was. It was a scene from The Good Place.
Yeah, because everything is so complicated.
Yeah.
Like the tomato you bought was from a farm that like uses like GMOs or like terrible things are always associated.
That's
anyway,
funny.
Very nihilistic Marvel Monday we've got going on. Let's subvert some expectations. Let's talk about some non-MCU films. I mean, if you will. What Marvel Casey? What do you feel?
Marvel Casey.
What have you seen?
Actually, to be honest with you, the only movies I've been watching the past week are Marvel movies.
Oh my
because
God.
I know, and this is.
I mean, you're loyal to our brand. But
I guess so.
Yet I'm so angry.
I didn't think I would be rewatching the MCU like anytime soon within the next like year or two. I was gonna wait until like at least a few more movies came out, like 4 to 8, before I sat down and did a whole rewatch again.
Mm-hmm.
But Donna actually after watching Black Widow, she was interested. Like, she doesn't remember a whole lot from it, so she just started on Disney Plus. She started in timeline order and just started watching them. So one day I just sat down, started watching with her, and I ended up watching we've watched 6 or 7 now. So
shoot!
Yeah, okay. I went through. I caught the end of Iron Man 2, Thor, The Avengers, Thor 2, or almost all of Thor 2. We literally both quit watching it because it's that bad.
It's not good.
It's not good. And then after Thor 2 was Winter Soldier. Watched that again. Still even better than I remember it some fucking how. It's the greatest MCU movie. And then we watched... she watched Iron Man 3. I didn't get to catch Iron Man 3. I was at work. And then... After Winter Soldier, Guardians and Guardians 2.
Yeah. Good
and
ones
then
to catch.
Yeah, and so now we're at Age of Ultron. I guess we're gonna watch tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do have an opinion, and it's gonna be very unpopular because I've seen a lot of Twitter fingers talking about it.
Marvel Monday shake-ups.
Marvel Monday.
We need to just have agreeable opinions, Gracie. How many times? Disney is not gonna fucking sponsor us.
I know.
They
might get almost as more fewer listeners if I have an opinion that makes it.
Just fine, say it.
All right. Okay, I'm actually having. Okay. Guardians Volume 2 is better than Guardians Volume 1.
So I thought I had the hot take wherein I think that Guardians 2 is a bad movie.
Okay.
I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
I don't know what to say about it.
I have reasons. I have reasons though.
Okay.
So I've watched it now that I recently rewatched it. Okay, I've seen it 3 times now. Okay, and I've watched the first Guardians probably the same about 3 times. And watching them back to back, right? I realized something. Guardians 2 hits way more of the story beats that they were going for in the first one that they just didn't hit. Okay, with the essence of the Guardians being like a team and they consider themselves family. In the first movie, I saw a review on Letterboxd where somebody said the first Guardians is literally a very expensive prologue. And I agree with that because we had to set up all these characters. Ronan was a horrible villain, okay? I don't care he was just bad. Okay, and then by the end of this movie, they've only been together for not even a week, and they're already calling themselves a family. It just seems super rushed. And watching it, I was just thrown off. I was like, man, this is not I don't get this. But then we went to Guardians 2, and everything is way more personal. There's you have the whole thing with Peter's dad. Ego, and then you have the Nebula and Gamora, the sister dynamic, and then Rocket's dynamic with how how he treats people and everything. And Yondu, the comparisons there, and how they become friends and everything. And just like every character just feels a lot more human than they did in the first one. It's like in the first one, they're all just a bunch of fucking gimmicks. Like they're gimmick characters. Like I'm a fucking tree and I say this, and fucking Gamora's like I'm the daughter of Thanos and I'm a cold-hearted bitch, and then Rocket's like I'm an experiment. And like I don't know, I feel like in Guardians 2, it's just way more like it's better explored. And the main gripe that I had with Guardians 2 the first time watching it is that the comedy downplays every single dramatic moment. And yeah, that's still kind of true, but the Pac-Man scene when his father's fighting and he turns it, that bothered me so extremely less than it did the first 2 times I watched it. Like, I think Guardians 2 is honestly way better than the first one, and I don't know, I that's my defense. Like, I mean, I understand if you like Guardians 1 better, but for me, I think Guardians 2 is just superior, honestly. And now after watching them multiple times, and especially back-to-back seeing it, I don't know, I just enjoyed Guardians 2 a lot more than I thought I would this time around. And I was actually dreading it going in because I was like, I've already seen this movie twice, like it's not that good. But just coming fresh off of the first one into the second one, I just think it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's my
I'll
hot
have
take.
to give it a rewatch, I think. Well, probably both of them. Like, I think I've seen Guardians 1 like 2 times. It's one of the rare Marvel movies I've rewatched. I have not rewatched 2 since I saw it in the theaters. And I mean, it's been like 4 years now, since that movie came out. So, man, I'll probably revisit it. But that's a pretty good hot take. Yeah. I feel like that's an agreeable one. I feel like mine of just saying it's a bad movie is probably the L here.
Well, I mean,
and people on Twitter definitely thought so.
A lot of people think Guardians 2 is just bad. And I was on that train for a while, obviously, until recently. Where I liked Guardians 2, but I admitted I was like, yeah, it's got a lot of flaws. But this time around, I was like, maybe not as many as I thought, though. Yeah. So that's my hot take, and that's all the movies I've seen this week, really.
Well, damn. Okay. I've got a few, and unfortunately for Marvel Monday, I not very many Marvel related.
That's okay.
I'll get my first most mainstream one out of the way. I watched the first Fear Street movie this week. Have you seen?
I haven't
any
yet.
of the Fear Street yet? Okay, so it's pretty good.
Okay.
I didn't know that it was based on an R.L. Stine book. Like, I had always looked at like our classroom libraries, and I guess I had seen the Fear Street books before, but I never read any of them. I'm definitely a Goosebumps kid,
right.
So this was new for me. But it's pretty enjoyable.
Okay.
It's very campy. This is part 1, by the way. It's very campy. They have this problem where they bought a lot of licensed songs and they expect us to be like impressed by it. They've got like "Creep" by Radiohead within like the first 20 minutes of the movie, and that's like supposed to be her like edgy song she's listening to, even though it's like a chart topper at the time. Right. People like "Creep." It's their sellout hit, you know? But it's good. Like, I don't know. I can't remember too much about the movie, honestly, other than, like, one of the kills in it. It's got some pretty brutal gore at times. And, like, there's one kill in the movie, and you'll see it, and you'll be like, oh, my gosh, that's a good kill. I bet you could just even Google Fear Street Part 1, like, best death, and it'll probably pop up. What surprised me about it is that I thought it was kind of going this direction of like having unlikable characters in the main roles and like working your way to kill them off. But like honestly, you find yourself liking most of the characters, and it kind of subverts your expectations with the characters you would expect to like the least being your favorite ones. And you kind of want everyone to live by the end of this movie. So it's a rare feeling in that way where, it's a horror movie where you're actually like wanting the deaths to not happen unless they're like random side characters. I haven't seen part 2 and part 3 yet, but I will say it does end in a cliffhanger, and that's something that I haven't seen in a while in a movie, and I'm wondering if the quality of these movies is maintained throughout. Like, I'm not saying it's a masterpiece or anything, but it was solid, entertaining fun, so I'm curious to see what 2 and 3 are like.
Yeah, I'm just very interested in the whole premise that they've got 3 movies that they're releasing almost at the same time. That just seems cool, I guess, that, and it's not like a series, you know? Like, they could have easily made this into, like, a mini-series, and it would be overlooked, and nobody would fucking watch it, but doing this part 1, part 2, part 3 thing is kind of cool, I think, honestly.
And to be honest, it doesn't fully feel like TV budget. I mean, kind of. But, like, you can tell that they put a lot of thought into this, and, like, even though they might have filmed it like a mini-series, like, it feels movie.
Gotcha.
You know, movie-esque.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go on and say, like, oh, if they put this on a theater screen with, like, Insidious or something else playing in another theater, that people would like it as much. But this is very cool that they're doing this, and I'm curious to see how it ends.
I'll have to check it out then.
I also watched probably my favorite movie I watched this week. I watched this movie called Smiley Face. Have you heard anything about it? So it stars Anna Faris. It's got John Krasinski from The Office. And it's basically Uncut Gems, but with the stoner in the middle. But it came first before Uncut Gems, which is great. It's definitely a movie for people who have experienced weed before, I think. Because a lot of the movie is like from Anna Faris's perspective, which she gives the best like stoner performance I've ever seen in film. It is hilarious. It's like so good.
Gotcha.
And the director has such an understanding of that perception, and you feel kind of like a relative like high from this character. And it's so funny. Like I'll just give away like the beginning of the movie. Like she goes in her roommate's fridge and there's some cupcakes, and they say like, save these for SpaceCon this weekend. And she's already high, so she eats all of them. Yeah. And then by the end, she realizes that they're weed cupcakes. And so the rest of the movie, she's like high off of that, but she's trying to like make new cupcakes for him and also pay their utility bill. And her drug dealer is threatening to steal her furniture if he doesn't get like money that he's owed. And it all goes terribly. Yeah. Like, it really does, but it's so funny. And I mean, I know these movies kind of stress people out, but if that's your kind of movie, like kind of a thriller, but like a funnier one, I definitely recommend this. This is one of the best watches that I've seen in a while. Like I was blown away by it. And then lastly, I watched The Death of Stalin.
Oh, I've been wanting to watch that so bad.
It's on Netflix now.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so I just had like a random day this weekend where I had like an hour and 40 minutes to kill. So I watched it, and it's really good.
Awesome.
Like it's just, I mean, I don't think that people ever really talk about how brutal like Stalin's regime was. Like
he's overlooked.
He had like his list of political enemies. People like were terrified of him, and he had like a close cabinet of some of the worst people like ever. And this movie is essentially like, well, no spoilers here because it's in the title of the movie, but Stalin dies. Yeah. And this movie's about the power vacuum that creates. And it's a really, really dark comedy, but it lands. It really works. And I was thoroughly impressed with this movie. I wish I had seen it when it came out so I could have been part of the discourse like then, but it's really fucking good. I don't know what to say. Like if you haven't seen it yet, like it's still worth checking out for sure.
Dope. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. It's been on my watch list on Letterboxd for a long time, and I think I started watching it at one point, but I didn't have enough time to keep watching or something. I got distracted or something. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it.
Oh, and I'm almost done with the rewatching of Midsommar. Ken and I started watching it the other night because she hadn't seen it, and I was like, okay, this is really fucking good. Let's do it. And I don't know what to say. It gets better every time I watch it. Yeah. I love that movie. Yeah. I think it's at a 4.5 right now on my Letterboxd, and I don't know what I'm being coy for. You know, I'm gonna probably give it 5 stars when I finish watching it again because I love it. It's probably one of my favorite horror movies, and it doesn't matter that it has a lot of thematic similarities to Hereditary because I think I enjoy this one more than I enjoy watching Hereditary. Like Hereditary feels long. It hurts me in a different way than this movie does, and I don't like it. Well, like I love the feeling that he's able to instill in Hereditary, but I think that the filmmaking and the vibe of Midsommar is more like to my viewing pleasure. Right. You know?
Yeah. There's Hereditary is like not good on. It's good on rewatch. It's not very pleasurable to rewatch it. Is what I'll say. Just because of just the whole movie, you feel just a horrid sense of like dread and just depression, and it's really good how he does it. But like rewatching it's really hard. I feel like with Midsummer though, it's easier to rewatch that movie. I've seen it like 3 times now. I gotta say I enjoy watching Midsummer. Like rewatches better than I do rewatch Hereditary. I think I've only seen Hereditary twice, and there's a lot of friends that haven't seen it that I need to show Hereditary to, but I'm like, man, we'll do that another day because like it's hard to watch.
It really is. Like that's one of the only movies in my life that I can think of. Like I had to turn it off, not because like I had something better to do, but just because I couldn't take watching it anymore in that moment. Like it was too brutal.
Yeah,
for sure.
I fucking saw it in a theater. That was I couldn't leave really. I was like, okay, I guess I'll stick it out. it was crazy. But
speaking of crazy,
did
you see that crazy animated show that they do on Adult Swim?
Yeah, what is it?
Richard and Mortimer.
Richard and Mortimer.
Speaking of crazy, how fucking crazy do you have to be to release like an episode that sucks as much as episode 4 of this new season?
Bro, it was so bad.
I'm baffled. Like I was waiting for the joke to like kick in, the joke that overrides that premise, and it didn't come.
Yeah,
you know, some people came in that episode. A decent joke was not.
Not a
thing.
Not a decent joke in sight. Somebody said, and I agree with them, that this is the one episode that for some fucking reason Rick is not smart. Rick is dumb in this episode. He's written so dumb, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, because even the beginning. Okay, we're going to do spoilers for Marvel shows. Let's just go ahead to talk about this episode. We got to talk about spoilers. So if you don't want to hear Rick and Morty episode 5 spoilers, skip to this time code. 30 minutes and 17 seconds. Okay, you've been warned. Spoilers.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Sorry, not episode 5. Episode 4. Spoilers. Okay.
Time code.
Now, listen. This episode starts out with Morty using the horse machine.
Fucking shit.
Like, I thought it was going to be a one-off joke, right? I was like, okay, yeah, I can find the humor in that. He's a teenage boy, okay, funny. And then Rick brings in the horse semen. And then he's like, I'm going to do this. And then Morty's like, well, why have you checked it? Why don't you check it? Or why don't check it? Yada, yada, yada. To cover up his horrid mistake and everything. And it's like, Rick would not do this. Rick just leaves it at he's like, God, your generation chooses random hills to die on, and then he doesn't check it, and he just does the experiment, and boom, we have giant killer sperm. I'm like, I know this is an animated show, and I know it's a comedy, but this character would never fucking do that. Rick would totally sniff that out in a millisecond. Like, they've written him to be that fucking smart, and Morty to be that fucking stupid, or naive at least. And it's just from there, the show just devolves into just like one horny joke after another. And like, I was waiting for them to be like the narrative to take a turn. Like the killer sperm to be there for like 5-10 minutes maybe, and then it would evolve into something else.
Yeah.
But they just kept with it, and it was like beating a dead fucking horse. It was horrible to watch. I was not happy with it at all. The only good joke in the entire episode, I will say, is at the very end when the sperm gets in the egg and Summer goes to blow it up and the president's like, nope, that's a human life and this is an election cycle. That made me laugh. I was like, okay, that's funny. But nothing else in the episode was entertaining whatsoever.
Okay. I'm starting to see like maybe what the writers were thinking is like, oh, when people talk about this episode, it's always going to sound ridiculous. Like, we have to make people say shit like incest baby when they talk about this. Or, like, cannibalistic horse underground people. Like,
such a stupid plot thread, too.
The dumbest shit people are going to have to repeat. But that's the thing, is, like, any joke in this episode is just undermined by, like, gross out humor. Or, like, fucking disgusting shit. Like, it's not... Like, you can do gross out humor, but do it with, like, fucking class, at least, you know? Like, this just seemed like it was trying at every turn to be edgy. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Rick and Morty gets accused of that a lot, and I usually defend it. Like, I think it's smarter than the average... Like, than what the average critic might say about it. But this, I can't fucking defend you, bro. Like, what is this dog shit? Like, holy fuck.
I've never been a fan. Okay, this is why I never watched that stupid fucking show that everybody, like, when it started, everybody hated it, and then as it went on, everybody liked it. It's,
Big Mouth?
Big Mouth. I hate that type of humor. It's so fucking childish. It's like some guy said on this Rick and Morty episode, he's like, they must have had a bring your kid to work day, but they made the kids write the episode. And I was like, yes, it's childish humor. It's like, I'm a 22-year-old man and I do not find this fucking funny. Like, and if you do, more power to you. If gross out humor is your thing, if like sexual humor is cool, that's fine. But it's so like tasteless, and that's exactly what the writer of this episode said. Did you watch the inside?
Yeah. No one seemed like they were really on board. Like Dan Harmon was like, "Oh yeah, we knew that sperm was gonna be in the episode for some reason," and like the director of the episode couldn't even like get through her interview without like just being like, oh,
like, I don't know what am I supposed to say about this episode? Like,
and the writer was like, it's tasteless.
Yeah, he was like,
shitty.
He said it turned out disgusting and tasteless. And he didn't even crack a smile. And to me, that felt so genuine. I'm like, you all hate this episode. Why did you put this out there? Like, whose idea was this?
Like, there must be tons of pitches for episodes every season. Like,
I know, and this one made it through.
What the fuck? I don't get it. I was feeling this way with season 4 with like the dragon episode, and I mean, you pointed out there's like cool subtext there. Mm-hmm. I can't find the subtext here. Like, there isn't subtext. No. Anything that the episode wants to like kind of be like real shit on, they rub it in your face. Like, the whole like Summer becoming a woman because the people won't listen to her. That it just like felt like shoved in there. Like, it didn't have, like, a natural place. Granted, there wasn't a natural place for fucking anything in this episode, because it was all dumb as shit, but...
Like, there's... Usually Rick and Morty can insert political jokes and political commentary with super good, like, finesse, most of the time, I believe. There was absolutely no finesse with how they just jam-pack these fucking jokes, like, in there. Like, with, like, the whole, like, the sexism thing. Like... I'm like, why did you choose this episode to do that? Because that's a somewhat serious, very relative topic, and you chose the dumbest fucking episode. The worst written, like, humorless, tasteless fucking episode to do that in. Like, if this episode was in season 1, I probably would have no faith in the series going forward. But since it's in season 5, I'm looking at it as a fluke, as something that just made it through.
Freakish accident.
Yeah, like a horrid accident. But I don't know, man. Like even I was in the shower thinking about it, and I was thinking about like how stupid it was, and I was like, okay, what is the root problem of the episode? Besides, if they wanted to go with giant killer sperm, if we're still going with the gross out humor, what could have made it better? I was like, okay, a rewrite. What never made sense to me is why Morty is keeping the secret. Like Rick is not dumb, but in the episode he's dumb to think that Morty actually is like innocent in all this. I'm like, so what if we just started the episode out with Morty accidentally creating the giant sperm, and then it's his fucking problem, and the whole episode is about Morty being a dumb teenager making stupid mistakes and Rick having to clean it up. And that would also go with their theme that they've been building up of Morty, getting shit on and being tired of being the one making the mistakes. And like that would have been just a smidge better in the writing. But they chose, and then the stupid fucking horse people, the chuds, that is so uninspired and dumb. Nothing about it was funny or inventive at all. Like, this is the worst episode.
It's such a lazy riff on like the chud thing from the 80s, like the cannibalistic human underground dweller or whatever. Like, no one knows what the fuck that is.
No, I didn't even know.
I don't know what, like, the people in their 40s and 50s who would maybe understand the basis of that joke are not going to laugh because you don't do the riff on it very well. Like, making them horse people didn't add, I don't know, like, in the worst fucking part, like, where Rick is, like, making out with that one horse girl and, like, has a child, and I hate it.
Where's the line? I thought Rick and Morty knew there was a line. Like, I know they cross so many lines, but But I feel like this episode was like, okay, you have an incest baby, and then you have a hint of, like, bestiality as well. Like, I don't find that funny. I find that very tasteless and very disgusting, actually. Like, I don't get it.
It's a weird day when I can say, like, South Park could have probably done this, like, with more class than Rick and Morty. Like, you know, it just, this is, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm fucking done with this episode.
It's bad, guys.
Let's move the fuck away from it.
Let's
fuck
go.
that.
I will say episode 5 is way better, though.
I haven't seen it yet.
You should watch it. It's good.
I will get on it. I did like the cold open with Jerry and Rick hanging out. And
It gets so good. The episode's really good. So
okay, I'm excited. I mean, like the last time Rick and Jerry teamed up in like the amusement park like conspiracy episode, that was really fucking fun. Yeah. Have they done anything since then? I don't think so.
Not really.
It feels like the last one. Yeah. Okay. Well, which Marvel thing do we want to talk about first on Marvel Monday, man?
Well, I feel like Loki is going to take a while because there's like...
Yeah, we got to talk whole series.
Yeah, so let's do Black Widow real quick.
Black Widow. How you feeling a week out from Black Widow? Hey, and skip to this time stamp if you want to skip the Black Widow spoilers and want to go to the Loki spoilers. A lot of spoilers. 3, 2, 1, go.
48 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay, you have been warned. Black Widow spoilers. A week after, still felt pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think it holds up. I've rewatched a couple scenes from it since I have it on Disney Plus Premier Access. Sorry for buying it, guys. I won't ever do that again.
Okay.
But it has given me the chance to rewatch a little bit of it, and I've also been jamming the cover of the Smells Like Teen Spirit. Did it belong in the movie? Probably not, but that song is definitely a vibe, and I liked the song. I liked listening to the song separated from the film. It's an interesting take on the song. I just like the song in general, so the cover's pretty good, I think. But did it belong in that movie? No, that's probably the only thing that throws me off about the film. Man, that post-credit scene, that's all I can think of that really we didn't get to discuss fully. Which makes me excited for the Hawkeye TV show, actually.
Yeah,
because Florence Pugh's going to be in it. So
with Julia Louis-Dreyfus showing up in the post credits and being like, "Oh, you want to get this guy, huh?
Revenge."
Hey. I don't know. This happens with every Marvel movie with me. I see it in the theater, and it's like, aha, that was very good, and then I spend any amount of time thinking about like the plot, or like its value as a movie, and it's just like, yeah, if you get cynical about things, it sucks the fun out of it. And I mean, I would still say Black Widow was probably a more exciting movie than a lot of the Marvel movies that have come out in past years. I mean, this is our second female-led movie out of like 24, 25 now. So, I mean, still glad that we bothered to go back to the Black Widow character, even though we never thought to do her movie while she was alive as a character for some reason. That's just a lot of my issues with this movie is realizing that there's a lot of studio interference involved with a project like this and kind of grappling with the fact that the humor in the movie and the very serious spy movie that they're trying to do not mix the best of ways. Like, I remember in Age of Ultron, Scarlett Johansson talks about having, like, her uterus, like, removed from the Red Room. And it's, like, a very emotional scene that she's having with, like, the Hulk or whatever. And then in this movie, it's like, yeah, they went in and they pulled my uterus right out. Yeah. Red Letter Media pointed out very fairly, like, this movie is, like, kind of too stupid for adults to take seriously as a spy movie, and it's too dark for kids to be taken to the theater to go see. Like, Daddy's gonna have to lie about what a hysterectomy is in the middle of this one. Like, I get that, and I am kind of frustrated in retrospect to see that not only is this like a Winter Soldier like kind of knockoff film, which like the character could have done a lot more than go through the story beats of Winter Soldier. I think it has enough original material, of course, but I think it is fair to say Taskmaster, Winter Soldier serve the same purpose. They've got the floating fucking sky fortress at the end for some reason. Yeah. We just love sky fortresses.
They're cool. They're comic accurate.
What was I saying? Oh. No, I don't remember. Oh, but no. It's like commit to something. Like, it's very clear that Marvel does not work with their directors in these movies. And, like, looking at the filmography of this director, it's all been serious, like, war movies and female-led projects. And from what I've heard, that's what she wanted to do with this movie, too, is, like, make it more serious and make it more spy-oriented. And Kevin Feige and Marvel execs kind of jumped in there and were like, whoa, where's the humor? And where's the floating sky fortress and the big CGI blow up battles? Yeah. Something that I learned about Marvel recently is that years before these movies even get started in production, they CGI map all of the fight scenes. So they have the action scenes planned for these movies, and you can't change them because they already know what they want. They don't need a director or a single human being or a stunt coordinator or anything on set because they just map the whole thing in CG so the VFX are ready to go when you actually like make the fucking movie. And you can kind of tell that this really affected like Black Widow because like the grounded scenes are like brutal. Like the knife across the belly, like the knife fight with ScarJo and Florence Pugh, like in the kitchen, like those are fucking cool as shit. Yeah, they feel grounded. They feel like a tinge of realness going on there. And then you get to like the prison escape. Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. It's just fucking
it's
crazy.
Super over the top.
How did Scarlett Johansson die in Endgame, falling off that cliff, when in this movie she like falls from like that one building, like hits the thing, bam, and like lands on the ground without even like catching herself. Like she should be dead there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if that's enough to kill her in Endgame, then she should have died in this movie like a million times. The worst one is the fucking car, which like I can turn my brain off for like most things, but when Taskmaster like blows up the bottom of the car and they go like through the street and then they go into like the subway and they like turn and spin and like they're dead. Like fuck you.
They're dead.
No, they just get out of the train. I mean, they get out of the car and they're like, okay, let's go. Fuck off.
Like, okay, so like I started noticing this when I was rewatching some of the Marvel movies. I'm like, okay, so I know that there's suspension of disbelief, right? Okay. You can pass off Captain America falling from absolutely insane heights and making it because he's got the super soldier serum. His bones are stronger, he's muscular, he can survive more often than not. But these other characters that their only specialty is like Falcon, for example. He's got fucking wings that he puts on and he flies. There's a moment in Winter Soldier where his wings are like severed and he's falling. And at the last minute, he pulls his parachute and lands on the ground. I'm like, no, he's dead. Or at least if he's not dead, his legs are splintered into 1,000 pieces. Like, they have got to figure out who's mortal and who's a little bit immortal. Like, I cannot turn my brain off that fucking much when you present to me a character who does not have the super soldier serum, is not a demigod, is not anything like that. Just a normal guy with a fucking suit. Okay? He would not survive that. He cannot. I know these are superhero movies. I know. Guys, I know. But holy shit. If you just go back and watch fight scenes, just look at how much shit they endure. And yeah, like you're right, like ScarJo falling from these incredible heights in Black Widow, and just like I'm like, okay, then it must have been a way farther fall in Endgame than we thought. And if it is a way farther fall, then she should have like splattered instead of just hitting her head and a little blood coming out. Like I know it's a PG-13 movie, but you know, I don't know. You gotta set some rules, set some boundaries here, because it's getting a little fucking ridiculous.
This is my problem with the MCU is like, we're coming out with like these girl power movies now, and we're like trying to like act like, you know, oh, the MCU has always been a place for like women to thrive. Like there's that shot in Endgame where it's got like Pepper and it's got, you know, Shuri and it's got fucking Captain Marvel. It's got all of them. Yeah. But like they don't treat these characters with respect. Like it was a plot point in both Infinity War and in Endgame that two of the best women characters in the Marvel Universe were just thrown off the same fucking cliff. Yeah. It's not even a different cliff.
Yeah.
It's the goddamn same one. And then they're turning around and making this movie, and it's like, ScarJo's gonna save all the women assassins, and she's gonna fight the man. It's like, do not do this to me. Do not act like you have any fucking respect for this character. She was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for 9 years, and the most impactful thing you ever let her do was jump off a cliff so Jeremy Renner could stay. So Jeremy Renner could do a TV show. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why I think that this movie, no one's even, like, bothering to attack it for, like, you know, being, like, SJW trash or anything. Because Marvel's not even pretending that they care about the women characters, like, featured in their movies. Like, I hope that this is something that changes. Like, I hope that Florence Pugh's character gets a lot more screen time and attention. We've got really cool startups like Monica Rambeau from the WandaVision series. Scarlet Witch was finally given some character development in her television show. Like, it seems... this might be the perfect segue here in a little bit, unless you've got some more thoughts on Black Widow. Well, actually, let's talk about Taskmaster, because people are upset about that. People are upset that it's
a girl.
That it's essentially. So, never mind. Yeah, there is still stupid fucking backlash. Yeah. Because what does that change about the character? Like, the gimmick of Taskmaster learning people's moves and, like, using it against them is still there. Taskmaster is like Terminator in this movie.
Exactly.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, it is Winter Soldier-y, but, like, I like it. Like,
I liked it. I especially liked the reveal of who it was. Like, it being his daughter. Like, I actually did not expect that. Like, I thought they just showed that backflash sequence to show that, like, oh shit, Black Widow did something pretty horrible. She killed a fucking innocent little kid.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it's like this enemy, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then everybody's saying, like, absolutely, completely ruined it. Again, we're throwing out SJW trash. And I'm like, please, listen. The MCU are adaptations of the comics. That does not mean that they have to abide by every single guideline and rule set in the fucking comics. Like, it would actually be pretty fucking confusing and pretty boring if they did that. Like, I understand the comics lays the groundwork for the movies, but the movies it's its own universe now, and they're setting up. They have the comic universe, right? They got the animated TV show universe. We have the cinematic universe, the live action shit. They're gonna change some stuff, and honestly, the Taskmaster change. What the fuck of it? I didn't think anything about it. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I thought he was a guy. Well, that's cool. I like this plot thread way better because it actually has meaning in the story. But people just freak the fuck out for no fucking reason. And it's so stupid. I'm so tired of it, bro. It doesn't, like... Did you honestly think about it when the reveal happened? Did you anything about it at all?
Dude, when the person's wearing a mask, it's fair game. You know,
exactly.
Like, it could be anyone.
Exactly.
This is like the same bullshit that Samus Aran must have faced when in like the original Metroid game. At the end of the game, when you get to the credits, the power armor comes off. It's a woman. You know, people in the '80s freaked out. They were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's a girl." Like, are we still not over that yet?
Yeah.
That like it turns out women can wear like armor and like kick ass. Like I don't know. That's what's so frustrating about a release like this is, you know, there's the trolls online who are like very clearly sexist and like, very anti-feminist, and you want to rush to defend these properties because it's like, well, no, we need projects like this that are women-led, that are good. But you can't give Marvel the free pass for, like, doing these movies if they're, sloppy about it. Like, it's very clearly a cash grab, and, I think that if they had done this movie after Civil War, which the whole movie is taking place right after Civil War, so I don't know why the fuck we didn't do it that way.
I don't know.
It would have made, like, we should have just had this Black Widow movie, like, 9 years ago. Like, she debuted in Iron Man 2. Everyone loved her in that movie. Why didn't she get a movie the next year?
Literally. Like, she's literally been a fan favorite from day one on screen. Like, when she was in Iron Man 2, I remember everybody being like, dude, she's badass. We love her. Scarlett Johansson is a perfect person to play this character. And I just kept waiting for some sort of, like, but they would just shoehorn her in other movies, like in The Winter Soldier. And granted, she's really good in The Winter Soldier. Yeah, but she needed her own. I was ready to see her backstory, and I hate that she's dead now, and we finally get to see it. Like, that's just my main frustration with this.
And we don't even really get the backstory because Scarlett Johansson's, like, too old now to play, like, a younger version of herself. Like, we get, like, a little bit of backstory, but no one got, like, the Red Room stuff that we were always expecting to see. Mm-hmm. And even then, like, I don't know, the Red Room ended... I feel like they toned it down for this movie. Like, it... she describes it as this horrible thing, and obviously the hysterectomies and that shit has stuck around, but, like, it's just kind of confusing in this iteration. Like, he's just got, like... He's got assassins everywhere, and he can just, like, flip a button and, like, control them. Like, okay, like, the man has got control over all these, like, women. Is that, like, all they're doing is just, like, hypnotizing people? Like, I kind of used to think that the Red Room was just, like, this organization that breaks people's wills. And that's why they obey.
Brainwash.
But to, like, explain it away with, like, red powder can, like, free them.
Yeah.
Like, that was really fucking dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of downplayed, like, what could have been the really seriousness and, like, gravity of the situation that is the Red Room and, like, the power that they have. But he's just like, yeah, it's mind control.
Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about with, like, the serious spy movie and the Marvel movie at war with each other. It's like we've got these really gritty action scenes, like when Florence Pugh cuts that girl's stomach open. It's like, oh, ow. Yeah. And then they show the girl, and there's, like, no blood. There's, like, a little cut on her tummy. Yeah. She's not even, like, dead, like,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
they gotta commit, man. They gotta commit. Like, they're playing it safe because Marvel is supposed to be family oriented. Like, you can take your kids to see it because kids read the comics. But I think one thing they don't understand is the comics are more vile and more graphic than the movies have ever been. Like, I don't understand what their play is here.
Well, and what I don't get is, like, why do we still care if a movie fits the PG-13 rating? Like, we've had Deadpool and Logan. Joker and Logan, like, all past the billion... Well, I don't know if Logan did it, but Deadpool and Joker passed the $1 billion mark, and those are R-rated movies. Yeah. Like, it turns out people
don't care.
They'll go out and see, like, a movie if they think it's good. Yeah. No matter what the rating is. Yeah, and people would bring their kids to any movie that they're not supposed to go to. Exactly. So don't worry, you're still going to get kids in your movie theater. Yeah. Are you going to fucking traumatize them? Of course. But you're already kind of doing it in this PG-13 movie, so why not go all the way and just, like, show a hysterectomy?
I mean, you're right. Like, obviously, there are some, like, properties that wouldn't translate well over to R. Like an R rating. Like,
no, you don't have to throw all of them.
No.
Just like Black Widow, I think.
Like, yes! I even think, like, I would go as far as to say if they did, like, a Hawkeye movie, I would want that to be rated R, because how are you going to show him throwing, like shooting arrows into people without showing, like, a little blood or a little, really gritty violence? Like, pick and choose which ones would be, like, okay, for Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight's coming out, and it's...
That's gotta be, like, they've gotta do rated R with Moon Knight.
It looks like they're kind of headed that way. Like, he's got blades and shit, and he's like,
yeah,
like, doing shit to people. Like, Oscar Isaac has shown some of, like, his choreography, and it looks brutal.
Okay.
But, I mean, there's still a chance for them to, like, CGI downplay it whenever it comes out, I hope that they keep, like, a more brutal tone. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, with people like Deadpool coming into the MCU soon, which...
They said they're going to keep it R rating, so
yeah.
I hope they don't water down the R rating.
Can we do like a non-spoiler midway section right here?
Sure.
Did you watch that Deadpool and Korg reacting to the Free Guy trailer thing?
Yeah. I watched a little bit of it, yeah.
What a fucking... Okay, so at first I was like, oh, this is funny because, you know, Deadpool gets to be rated R still and say, like, the fuck word or whatever. But, like, they just... It's an ad for Free Guy, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. And they're both in the movie, and they both clearly can't say anything bad about Free Guy, and they like try and like riff on it a little bit, but it's like not funny or mean. Like, I think people are on the internet being like, oh my god, this is so epic! Like, I can't believe they got Korg and Deadpool in the same video. That must have cost so much. But like, it's really both shitty. In Free Guy, like, they're both in Free Guy. Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds like know each other. Like,
yeah.
And also, it's just an ad. Like, I can't believe that we're at the point in our lives where, like, we can be brainwashed by, like, what's very clearly, like, an advertisement, like, so easily. Like, holy shit. Just because your favorite character is in something doesn't mean it's good.
Right,
like, Rick and Morty are apparently in the new Space Jam. Does that make it a good movie? Okay. I seriously doubt it.
I've got to, speaking of that, I got to say something about that ad because I was reading some discourse about it, about how, like, every time Rick and Morty do an ad, Rick always has this so like everybody, Rick likes money. Rick will do anything for a bunch of money or incentive, right? So the Pringles commercial, he's like, or Wendy's, they're like,
they're paying us a lot.
They're paying us a lot of money. You got to eat this. So he's like shamelessly like plugging it, even if he doesn't really enjoy it, you kind of think like, oh, he did it for the money, and it's like he's keeping in that character. But in Space Jam, the joke is that they return Taz.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're done experimenting on your thing. It's like, yeah, he's really crappy or something like that. He's like, yeah, have fun, dum-dums. And they drive away. There's no fourth wall break. Rick is not in on the joke. Like, every ad, every, like, shameless placement of Rick and Morty, Rick's always in on the joke. But with Space Jam, he's not in on the joke. He's actually in the movie. Which makes me think, like, why? Like, were they forced to say this dialogue? Was Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland like forced to say, or?
Well, I mean, Warner owns the property. Like, like if they want Rick and Morty in the movie, they don't have to pay anyone anything to get them in there.
Right.
They just, they're contractually obligated to make their appearance. Like, that's what it sounds like Space Jam: A New Legacy is.
Right.
It's Warner's advertisement for HBO Max. It's like, look at what's on our platform,
Right.
The movie itself is supposed to drive people to HBO Max, so it's like, might as well check out these other things we own while you're there. Like,
so wait, Warner owns Rick and Morty?
Yes. It's in a complicated way.
Oh, yeah, because Cartoon Network is with...
It is, like, owned by, like, Time Warner, which is
Warner
owned by
Media,
HBO Max. Which, like, HBO Max falls under Warner also.
Right. I knew HBO Max was Warner Brothers. I totally forgot that, like, of course Warner is Cartoon Network. Like, that's where it hails from. And in that extension, Adult Swim, so.
It's just, like, the only thing that is left, really, that Disney hasn't bought out yet. So it's like, of course they're going to try and plug their own shit and make cinematic universes. Like,
bringing it back around, do you think, like, when we do get Deadpool 3, and it is rated R, like Disney says that they're going to do you think it's going to be, like, super watered down rated R, where Deadpool, like, can't make fun of anything because everything he makes fun of, Disney probably fucking owns? Or, like...
I feel like maybe they'll get, like, a little too... Like, it'll be watered down R rating, and then it'll also just riff on MCU Marvel movies a lot.
Yeah.
And it'll mostly be, like, celebrity cameos you wouldn't expect. And it's like, oh my god, Steve Rogers, aka Chris Evans, what are you doing here? Blah, 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 blah.
I really hope not. I want him to make fun of the... I mean, they won't do this, but I want him to make fun of the Marvel movies. Like, I want him to actually get in there and get super cynical about the MCU, and it'd be funny, and everybody can laugh about it. But
it doesn't seem like, after this, like, Free Guy trailer reaction, it doesn't seem like they're headed there.
I hope that's not a sign of what's to come from Deadpool, because I genuinely love the first two Deadpool movies. I think
Deadpool 2 is pretty good.
Yeah.
This might be a hot take. I don't care for the first Deadpool
really
all that much. I think it's, like, trying really hard to be like edgy. I think Deadpool 2 has its flaws also, mainly like fridging which is something that they bring up in
the
like,
Free Guy trailer.
That's the one part of that I like, is that they bring it, and then Korg's like, well, we call that bridging. Or something like that. I like the Deadpool movies, okay? I just don't think that they were ever all that good. Deadpool 2 is definitely leagues ahead of the first movie, because they just go all out with the jokes, I think, and like the time travel bit at the end is incredible.
I love the Logan bit at the very beginning, where it's like Logan's like being impaled with like the metal.
Yeah.
When he died in Logan, and
then
he's got the
like
little
an action
toy.
figure.
Yeah, it's really funny. They do go all out in the second one. I will give it that.
You know what really went all out, and I wasn't expecting it to?
Loki.
This fucking show, man.
Man.
Yeah, spoilers for Loki.
Spoilers for
from
Loki.
this point on. Oh my god, it's like we're almost at the hour mark, but fuck it. It's Loki time, baby.
It's Loki. Let's go. So I really, really, really enjoyed this last episode. What about you?
They stuck the landing.
They stuck the landing?
This is interesting. But now there is just one Marvel show that is like leagues ahead of the other two, and I could very easily find myself rewatching this series. I think it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it a lot. I don't know that it's like the most incredible piece of like sci-fi media ever.
No, definitely not.
But like, it's really fucking good.
Really good,
and it's probably the best Marvel project that has come out in the past few years. Which I know I said that about WandaVision when it was young and fresh, but like, I mean, WandaVision kind of wimped out.
It did. It wimped out at the last 2 or 3 episodes, yeah.
This shows you that you can have a show with a fun and unique identity that still ends up having consequences throughout the Marvel universe. And that's my favorite thing coming out of episode 6, is that things are going to be different now because of Loki. And like, that's cool as shit, because it got to keep its identity while also just like pushing us forward,
setting up so many things.
I don't even know what to expect, really. Like, it kind of defied my expectations with where this episode was going. Like, I'm kind of stuck on the last episode in my mind right now, but like, you know, when Kang the Conqueror finally shows up, he was really fucking fun. Like, I liked that character. I thought he was very cool. I mean, he mentioned that there were variants of him, but for a second there, I really did get fooled into thinking this was the guy who was going to be sticking around. And then, of course, by the end of the episode, Sylvie kills him.
Right.
He's dead. He's gone, and now
an evil version of him is we're presenting
several
evil versions.
You know, several good, several bad. I'm down.
I'm
dude.
so down. Jonathan Majors killed it, by the way, in his performance. Like,
we've got another good Marvel villain on our hands. You know, you can tell usually by the actor how they're doing. Like, fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like, when I first was watching it, I was like, he's kind of hamming up his performance a little. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but you know what? Like, just stick with it just a little bit longer, man, and you'll see, like, oh god, no, like, this character is really interesting. I really bought the entire performance. And then just what like literally gave me chills is the fact that at the end of the episode, well, the moment I knew that this villain was going to be fucking badass was like at the very end of the episode when Loki runs and he's telling Morbius, Mobius, sorry.
Yeah.
He's telling I said
Morbius is like the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Getting his own like Jared Leto movie.
So he goes and he tells Mobius and the Hunter B-15 and he's like, listen, he's like, I know who's in charge of the TVA. It's like this guy, and he's like, he's terrifying, and I'm like, okay, like Loki said that another person is terrifying to him. Like, that character, he's supposed to be, you know, he's like, I'm the most terrible. But he was like almost in tears, like he's terrifying. And I was like, bro, I cannot fucking wait to see more of this fucking villain.
That was hype. That whole so last part where it's like, who are you?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this is the first time in a while that like an upcoming project with the TV show has made me like feel really cool. But when they did that Loki will be back in season 2, I was like, yes! Bring this show back.
For real.
Like, the other two,
leave them.
You know, like, it's fine. Don Cheadle will get his Emmy for Falcon and Winter Soldier for some. Have you heard about this? Don Cheadle is up for an Emmy for like that one scene that he was in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He has a guest cameo Emmy nomination right now.
Okay, the Emmys are a fucking joke.
Yeah, they're fucking... Like, he's confused about it, too. He's like, am I complaining? No. Do I understand? No. I'll see you guys in Armor Wars or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently Iron
War Machine Armor Wars. Yeah. That's so weird, though. That's weird. But, I mean, going off what you were saying, though, about, like, WandaVision, we'll obviously get to see more of Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange and other projects. And Falcon and Winter Soldier, obviously, we're getting Captain America 4 and whatever, and yada, yada, yada. But, like, Loki, like, this is contained in this show. I want to see more of Loki in this show. You know, like, season 2 is going to be so fucking hype. Like, I'm ready. Like, I want it to come out now.
Well, like, I like Sylvie, I like Mobius, I like Hunter B-15. Like, they've got a solid cast of, like, original characters here that I really think are fucking cool. I mean, like, even that one episode where they go into the dimension and they meet all the... I mean, the Void, and they meet all the Lokis. Like, classic Loki was fucking cool as shit. The boy Loki. Like, there are so many fun concepts in this show that buck with the whole reality of the Marvel Universe that I'm just so glad they were allowed to do. Yeah. Like, from the very first episode with all the TVA shit, I've been impressed, and, like, really it only dragged in episode 3. Yeah. But after that, you know, like, that was won over. Like, Sylvie was fucking cool. I really like that character. I'd like to see her on, like, you know, in a movie. Yeah. And I genuinely, like, I think that they did this well. You know, a lot of people are complaining about, like, the kiss in the final episode being weird, the whole romance being weird. I think they sell it.
I think it was sold quite well, yeah.
Like, I think that the fact that these are variants of a person across different dimensions, like, really adds something to me, and, like, their chemistry is real. And when they kiss in that last episode, I mean, like, I buy it. Like, I truly do. And I'm honestly, genuinely concerned about their relationship going forward. Like, is the rift that Sylvie's created too big? Probably not, because it's Marvel. They're going to heal up in, like, the next thing they get in together. The big bad guy will unify them, as is the case usually. Right. But, like, that's something I've always liked about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is in the occasional movie, you will see world-defining, like, shakeups happen. You know, in Winter Soldier, it's, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. being destroyed. In Civil War, it's the falling out of, like,
the Avengers and
the main characters, like, right at the precipice of, like,
the biggest battle ever.
Yeah. And I mean, do I feel like usually they kind of, like, cheat a little with how they resolve those things? For sure. I think Gamora in Endgame was definitely one of those examples where I'm like, well, I see what you did there, and that's clever. That's clever how you brought her back. But woof, that sucks. That means you really are erasing, like, this really cool character.
Yeah. Had. Like, you got to build it back up now,
dude. I've been thinking about this the whole time, like, ever since I made that, like, Cliff comment. Like, I have been thinking, like, oh god, the women characters in Marvel have it, like, kind of bad, dude. Yeah. Like, 2 of them being thrown off the same fucking cliff and whatnot. Yeah. Pepper not doing anything ever again.
Right. Yeah, it's I hope that they do better with that going forward. One thing I was gonna say is I'm a little surprised, but I'm also really happy about it. If you look, today I rewatched the Disney's Investors Day from last year when they announced all these projects, and I was looking at all the directors and the actors attached. We have a lot of people of color in directing standpoints and in acting, like a lot of female leads coming forward, like black female leads. And, you know, we got Shang-Chi, which is like Asian culture center. I'm really excited for, like, the diversity moving forward. I hope that they do it well, they treat it with respect. Because I'm really excited to see a bunch of these, like, the interesting choices for directors, like, moving forward. Like, obviously I haven't heard of a lot of them. They're probably, like, newcomers, but, like, I'm excited to see, like, what they do, because...
I mean, like, even Chloe Zhao. Like, they've got, like Art House Academy of nominated, like, directors doing these fucking movies.
And Christian Bale is going to play Gore the God Butcher in Thor 4. Like...
Oh.
Okay. Did you not hear that?
No, I don't think I had heard it.
Christian Bale's going to be in fucking Thor 4, and I'm really excited for that. Like, how they got Christian Bale on the project. Like, because he's sort of like a man of, like... I mean, he did do the Terminator movies.
But let me just say this. They always get, like, a big actor for, like, one-off movies. Like, this screams, like... this character will be gone by the end of Thor 4 because, like, that's every celebrity that they trick into being. Like, I'm surprised Owen Wilson isn't dead by the end of Loki.
Yeah.
Because he seems kind of like the last person you'd expect to be in a Marvel property.
Right.
Yeah, he's there. But, like, you know, Kurt Russell in Guardians 2, like, obviously that's a very important character who could stick around for a while. Unfortunately... it's Kurt Russell, and my man has a lot of other gigs going on.
Yeah.
Does not give a shit about superhero movies. I doubt he does anyway.
Yeah.
You know, he's dead by the end of the movie. Kate Blanchett. You know, you got to get rid of her by the end of the movie, or else you got to pay Kate Blanchett's salary for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, Marvel's getting to the point where they probably can do it, because even their actors that were relatively unknown when they started the MCU are now like... you gotta pay me like $50 million to be in this fucking movie. Like,
well, and that's why Kevin Feige's like coming out with like the cheapo comment. He's like, we're not signing actors to 9 film contracts anymore.
Yeah.
We're not doing it anymore. We're just gonna give them.
It got too expensive.
We can't keep paying all these people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true.
I think Loki has made me reassess the idea that the Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't have any value after Endgame. You know, like Endgame seemed like the ending of all things. Loki has shown me like there's a lot of exciting opportunities.
Oh yeah.
It's just I think this is the only project that has done any of the exciting things that could be done post Endgame. Like I feel like Spider-Man, fucking Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. I'm going to call it that because, I mean, he's Captain America. Yeah. Spoiler alert. And WandaVision, they all kind of played it safe, and they all kind of made sure that they had, like, a direct tie to, like, Endgame and Infinity War. They're like, oh, we can't let the audience, like, forget that, you know, these characters come from, like, past events.
Yeah,
and,
whatever.
like, Loki... I mean, in the first episode, they like, have a clip show, and, I mean, yeah, that's important. But, like, after that, it's, like... his old life is like pretty much gone.
No, it's like moving forward, yeah.
I mean, sure, we have technically an older version of the character who we have already seen develop, but like I like this new branching development that they did for Loki, and it's very well done.
Yeah,
the whole series.
And I do have to say, like, I guess like a counter comment, not like disagreeing with you, but also adding that I like that they did kind of remind everybody that happened, because like I think Marvel's problem a lot of times is glancing over like glaring issues that they left behind in the movies. Like I feel like WandaVision, Falcon, and Black Widow, even though it's a prequel, I feel like those properties are like the aftermath of Infinity War / Endgame, or at least WandaVision and Falcon are. Mm-hmm. What they do is they tell you basically how everybody's doing, how the world is moving on, what political problems are there, and yada, 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 so that we can move on, we can establish what the new norm is and then move on from there. And I think that's what Loki's job was, is to introduce everything new so that we hopefully won't have to look too far back to that again.
I'm just going to say it, you know, like, I hate setup. I've always hated the way Marvel does it, where they just, like, shoehorn characters that you have no idea what they're there for. They don't do anything, and it's just all in the name of, like, payoff later. Mm-hmm. I feel like Spider-Man, I feel like fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier, I feel like WandaVision, they all are pretty bad about introducing plot lines that are going to pay off later and not doing anything about them, like, in the moment. And Loki, I feel like, even though it's still a lot of setting up, it's fun. Like, they're actually doing it within the rules of their own, like, universe and premise. And it feels so fucking far away from everything else in Marvel that it's like, oh my god, I feel like I can fucking breathe without some, like, random new Avenger, like, popping up, you know? Like, and I'm not saying that it's a problem to introduce a new character, But I'm saying, like, if you're gonna introduce a new character, like, use them. You know, have it be something that pays off in the story you're telling. Because so many times we get these fucking properties that are just filled with setup and setup and setup, and it's like, that's gonna pay off in Infinity War and Endgame. Did you need to see it now? No, but now you're aware.
Right.
So it's gonna pay off then. And it's like, well, you're wasting my time right now.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, the worst movie about it wasn't an MCU movie. It was Amazing Spider-Man 2. That movie was so much set up for, like, a Sinister Six movie that's never fucking coming out.
No.
Or at least that version of it is never coming out. Like, there might be one down the line, because they're going to milk every comic property you can think of at some point. But
for sure. Well, I mean... So I do have a question for you. I know we've talked about, like, we're definitely not interested in the What If series or the animated series, or at least I have. Like, I have no interest in it.
I don't have a ton, but now
that it's like they've announced that, like, What If is, like, canon within the multiverse. Like, we've established the multiverse, so we're, like, telling stories from what happens in this multiverse. Are you interested at all to see what kind of stories they concoct?
With that lens, yeah. Now that it's like it's real in a sense, like absolutely. Like, I think that's the most upsetting thing about, like, the word canon is it holds way too much power.
Oh yeah.
You know? And I hate that, like, a company can just come out and say this is canon and this isn't canon, and that can affect people's enjoyment of a product. Because I truly, like, in a perfect world, I feel like people could just write whatever stories they want and people can pick which ones to follow, you know? Like, we have franchises already, like Terminator, where that's basically happened, where every fucking filmmaker who makes a new Terminator movie after 2 is like, the last one didn't happen. This is the real Terminator 3. That other Terminator 3, no Terminator Genesis, we are not even that guy a little bit. We don't even look like Terminator Genesis. This one, we killed John Connor. Spoiler alert for a movie that no one fucking saw.
Terminator Dark Fate.
Did you ever see Terminator Dark Fate?
I watched the opening sequence where John Connor was killed.
30 minutes of it. It was pretty epic. After the John Connor death, surprisingly good. Not enough to hold my attention past the 30-minute mark. But it seems like a return to form. I digress.
I guess for Terminator fans, it was good. If you're a hardcore Terminator fan, then you might have liked it. But
okay, this might not even be worth having in the podcast. But Augustine and I were talking about, like, Terminator the other day, and we feel like having a Terminator, like, rewatch of the first 2 movies. Would you be down?
Yeah, I'd be down.
Those are, like, some of my favorite fucking movies right there.
They're good, really good.
They're
actually.
so fucking good.
Yeah.
All that to say, good job, Loki.
Yeah. We like Loki. Tell us what you think in the comments and on Twitter. We're trying to be more active on Twitter and all the social medias. Yeah, so...
Wait, and answer this question for me. If you were Kevin Feige, what woman would you throw off the Red Skull cliff? Would you throw off a man instead? Tell us.
Tell us.
We're interested to know. Who would you throw off the cliff?
Who dies on the Red Skull cliff?
Oh man, was that Pepper?
Oh no! Fucking Howard the Duck. He's got thrown off the Red Skull cliff.
Oh man. Oh fuck. I can't believe it. Michael Douglas just went off the Red Skull cliff. But he's not Hank Pym, it's multiverse.
It's
Michael
multiverse,
Douglas,
so
don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. Woo!
Dodged the bullet there. No! Agent Carter!
She got thrown off the Red Skull cliff.
Her show got canceled years ago. So you could say she got thrown off the cliff and under the bus a while ago. Yeah, I think it's so funny how quick we were to throw Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. under the bus. As soon as, like, Disney Plus shows came out, all the filmmakers were just like, we don't talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Do it.
We don't, that's not real. Like, the whole premise of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was that it would matter and tie into every release, and they were trying so hard.
So hard.
And then by the time of Infinity War, they were just like, We can't do it.
You're so tired, bro. We
can't make this fit. Whatever the fuck we're doing. And then, as a consequence of it, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, I mean, I'm sure it has a following, but for the most part goes unloved by the fans and untouched by, like, the filmmakers. Like, Joss Whedon was very early in saying, like, oh, Phil Coulson's dead. Like, fuck that dude. I killed him. Like,
I killed him, yeah. Oh, God.
Poor Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Poor Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, that's all I've got. I was going to mention, did you know that Christopher Nolan and, not to spike a fucking Snyder Cut discussion, I just read this today and I thought it was interesting. Christopher Nolan and Snyder's wife, Deborah, screened Justice League when it came out, and they immediately went to him and was like, do not watch this movie.
Yeah, I actually saw that headline before Snyder Cut came out, like, that happened. Yeah, apparently that's Christopher Nolan's least favorite superhero movie. I saw another clickbait.
Said he hates it.
Headline.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what else I hate?
What do you hate?
Saying goodbye on this show.
Well, we don't have to.
Let's just keep the mic rolling for another week.
No, I have this button here that it'll transfer to a multiverse version of us, and they'll say goodbye. Oh,
Rick and Morty already did it, you dipshit.
It's a good thing Rick and Morty episode 4 was really good.
Yep. I love that one. And also, can we just talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 coming out next week? Gonna be fucking
be amazing. Hopefully better than Loki, though.
Yeah, but, bro, can we just be honest? Firefly needs to go off the air. It's been on for like 20 years. And like,
it's on, what is it, 18th season now?
Oh my god, they're so out of ideas. Like, I would have rather seen, like, Game of Thrones picked up for season 2 rather than see, like that's the show people should be, like, trying to get on the air. Like, I just can't believe, like, you know, Fox canceled it so quickly.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
And I mean, like, with HBO going out of business soon, like, it makes me wonder, like, who is going to make adult fantasy?
Well, at Warner Brothers, with them buying all these fucking properties and owning all the MCU and all that, like, they could very well buy out HBO and then turn it around, you know, and make Game of Thrones season 2 or 3, because...
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. My girlfriend Donna's calling me. I gotta go.